the essence of having influence in Nairobi County. So politically speaking, looking at the numbers we have so far, UDA has won 36 seats, ODM has 35 seats. Of course, we have 85 wards in Nairobi County, which then essentially means, and looking at the governor's race, well, I think Wiper, let me see.
To get 4, I think.
Look, Dan Mwangi is coming in a short while, and he'll be giving us those numbers in a short while. But looking at the race as well, the gubernatorial race, you have Johnson Sakaja, who is poised to actually take this particular seat. So whoever wins the presidency will suddenly need that, you know, that influence and, of course, that backing up of Nairobi County. So is it shifting? I mean, Nairobi County has been seen to be a stronghold of somehow, quote-unquote, Raila Odinga over the past elections.
Nairobi has not shifted. Nairobi is a bedroom, is a master bedroom for power. It has not shifted. Raila, of course, from the figures that we have, has got substantial votes in Nairobi. If you look at the numbers again, I think in Nairobi, ODM, together with Wiper, will have the majority in the National Assembly. So, of course, I think there could have been, I don't know why the voters who voted for Baba may have voted for the opponent. That is a question that would need to be interrogated, that why Baba is taking a lead in Nairobi, and when it comes to the gubernatorial seat, we seem to be losing it. So
let's see. Let's hear from Arnold.
Let us wait and see.
Okay.
We shall interrogate those matters later.
Later, Arnold.
I think there are 3 things that we've spoken on.
Right.
And,
I know it's a mixture of a lot.
Just a quick one on IBC. I think we must actually give due credit to IBC, because this version of IBC we see this particular year is actually platinum. The Chepkati of 2022 is actually a man exhibiting gold standard. We didn't see him this way in 2017. And I think from where I see it that the next chair of IBC should come from amongst the commissioners, because experience counts for something. Right. If, you know, there's definitely learning when you're doing M&E, then you also do learning. If there's anything, of course it's too early to give them credit for anything else, but we don't have to wait until the very end. And we do not need some report by people who are electoral quote-unquote experts to actually tell us that IBC this time around have done quite some very good work. This we must actually say. In any case, you don't need to be a cook to know good and bad food. If it's an education where anyone who actually, you need education to get in there. And there's this normal joke, I know this, it could be a bias, that many people who've stolen from Kenya, many people who've led us astray from either Alliance High School or the University of Nairobi. That is on a very light note. The guys from Alliance, I am sorry. But let's do this. Education in and of itself is not a quality for good leadership. Like I said yesterday, if you're going to look for a good leader, he has to have 3 characteristics. Number 1, he should be caring. We talk about the 3 C's of leadership. The first C is caring, which technically Philip and the others love to call it empathy, that a leader must be empathetic to the cause of the other people. The second C is that a leader must have character. That is where chapter 6 is domiciled, and we do a lot of talking around that. And then the third and final C is that a leader must be competent. So you see, competence is actually a mixture of 2 things: education, experience, and so many other things. So sometimes we confuse education for competence. A lot of guys, that is why, for example, here at NMG, you guys have got something called the Media Lab. Why do you have a Media Lab? If you went to Daystar or you went to the University of Nairobi, you should just show up here and tell guys, hello, I have got a degree and I can actually run this newspaper, I can run this TV. No, it's not sufficient, right? That's why you guys have got a media lab, because every media house has got a style of how they do their things. Now, so if education alone was enough for us to actually get good leaders, then we wouldn't be struggling, because we actually have got about 3 million degrees. And that brings me to my second point on the same, on why, especially when it comes to legislature, the representation of the people, that really counts for, it shouldn't even count. Because, like again I said yesterday, that what is the definition of parliament? Whether it's a county assembly or a national assembly or the Senate, it is the manifestation of the people as a government. So how a parliament looks like, you should be able to see a nation or a society in that. Now, how is having a degree a qualification for leadership? For you to get to qualify as a journalist to come here, you must have done something that is related to journalism, right? So how is somebody who's doing theology, another one who's doing accounting, another one who's doing economics, another one who's doing engineering? So long as it's not specific, that is not a qualification. At least the HR people will tell you that. That just saying a blanket degree is not sufficient, because you've done theology somewhere. How are you going to be competent to read audit reports, for example? As in, that thing is, in my opinion, quite oxymoronic, that any degree makes you a good leader. If honestly that requirement for a degree, and for me I actually insist that this degree requirement should be mandatory for anyone who wants to do executive work. Even though we have got technical guys and everything else, but when it comes to the county assembly, national assembly, the senate and everything else, where it's about the voice of mwananchi, we should not actually even be pushing that, because it flies in the good face of Article 38 in the first place, because Article 38 allows us to actually participate, be part and parcel of any political process without necessarily being stopped. It shouldn't be unnecessary. So he spoke about chapter 6, of course, and said that yesterday he said, I don't believe in chapter 6. I do believe in chapter 6. But I believe.
You're allowed to change your mind.
No, I'm not changing my mind.
A wise man.
But I will still repeat the same statement I said, that I believe chapter 6 as written and inserted in a constitution 2010 should be plucked out and thrown out, because it's not implementable. The architects of that particular chapter were cowards. They were not bold enough to actually draw the boundaries from where we are. And they left it to Parliament to decide. And by the way, it's for good reason. That a people decide, a society decides what the morals are and everything else. And you cannot, for example, legislate morality